Diets high in protein have been proven to be beneficial for everything from weight loss to better mood to better overall health. However, most people are not eating anywhere near enough, and their health could be improved simply by eating more. Protein is especially important as we age because we need it to maintain lean muscle mass. Lean muscle mass is associated with quality of life and risk of death. As a baseline, everyone should be aiming to consume 1 gram of protein per pound of their ideal body weight, which is roughly 2 grams per kilogram. So if you are on a weight loss journey and 140 pounds is your ultimate goal, then you should be aiming for 140 grams of protein every single day. So let's get into some of the other reasons why adding more protein to your diet can be beneficial. Number 8, it regulates hunger. Protein is an essential macronutrient, meaning we need to get it in through our diet in order for our bodies to function properly. Underconsuming protein can lead to hunger, even if our energy needs are being met. This is thought to be due to something known as the protein leverage hypothesis. Basically, we remain hungry until we've eaten enough protein to meet our needs. And this is why it is so easy to overconsume something such as French fries, which are high in carbohydrates but low in protein. You have to eat a lot of fries in order to get a decent amount of protein, and it's not until this protein need is met that hunger switches off. If you are someone who is constantly struggling to regulate your hunger and cravings, then adding more protein to your diet can help. Number 7, it increases your metabolism. Out of the 3 macronutrients, protein, carbohydrates, and fat, protein requires the most energy to digest. This is known as the thermic effect of food. To put this into context, if you were to consume 100 calories of bread, which is mainly made up of carbohydrates, about 10% of those calories are burned through digestion. Whereas if you consume 100 calories of meat, which is mainly protein, about 30% of those calories are burned through digestion. Now, I am in no way suggesting that you count calories, the opposite if anything. The thermic effect of food is one of the reasons why calorie counting will never be accurate. But this is important to know because if you are someone who's restricted calories in the past, chances are this has caused some damage to your metabolism and caused it to slow down, and eating more protein can help to speed it back up to where it needs to be. Number 6, to build and maintain muscle. We need to be consuming a certain amount of protein every day in order to not only build muscle, but also to maintain what we already have. A lot of times when people start a diet, they see the number on the scale drop drastically and they assume that all of this weight loss is fat. But in fact, a lot of the times, these people are losing lean muscle mass because they're not consuming enough protein. We want to be maintaining lean muscle as much as possible because once we lose it, it's going to be harder to get back. As I mentioned at the start of this video, this is especially important as we're getting older. Less muscle mass means less strength and less balance, increasing our risk of falls and injuries. And also, as we get older, we're not able to process protein as efficiently, so we need to be consuming more. Number 5, faster recovery. Not only does protein help us to build and maintain muscle, but also if we're exercising, it helps our muscles to repair faster. Exercise actually causes micro tears to our muscles. And this is normal because when they repair, they end up stronger. But they need protein in order to repair properly. When we consume protein after exercise, this can help to ease muscle soreness and help our muscles to repair faster so we can work out again sooner. Number 4, it optimizes hormones. One of the main roles of protein is helping to create hormones. Protein is essential for the production of testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone. So this is applicable for both men and women. It is also needed for the production of insulin and thyroid hormone. And circling back to earlier in the video when we were talking about how protein can help to regulate hunger, the hunger hormone ghrelin is also influenced by protein intake. When we're not consuming enough, ghrelin will be higher. Number 3, it regulates blood sugar. If you have insulin resistance, diabetes, or PCOS, this is especially important. But blood sugar regulation is something that everyone should be mindful of regardless. Regulating blood glucose is the key to reversing insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Long term, it reduces your risk of heart disease as well. But even in the short term, regulating your blood sugar means you're going to have a more stable mood, you're going to have more stable energy, and fewer cravings. But how do we do this? The reason protein helps is because it slows down the digestion of carbohydrates. So when we eat protein with carbs, we see a much smaller spike in our blood sugar. And there are other strategies you can use to help regulate your blood sugar, one of which is taking berberine. Berberine is a natural compound that improves how our cells take in glucose. So because our cells are able to take more blood sugar in, our blood sugar is more stable and we see less drastic spikes. This is a really easy addition to your routine that can have such a big impact, especially if you're trying to reverse insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and PCOS. The berberine that I personally use and recommend to my clients is from the brand So Well Health, and it's called Get So Balanced. And it combines berberine with chromium and cinnamon as well, which have also been shown to help with blood sugar regulation. I will link to Get So Balanced in the description box down below if you want to check them out, and I'll also put a code down there to save 10%. Number 2, it improves insulin resistance. Now we've touched on this a little bit throughout the video, but protein is so key if you have insulin resistance and you're trying to reverse it. Yes, it helps to regulate our hunger and cravings, which obviously is beneficial, but also the regulation to blood sugar, that is absolutely huge. The way to reverse insulin resistance and the associated diseases such as type 2 diabetes and PCOS is keeping our insulin low. When insulin is low, our cells are able to become more sensitive to it once again. However, people with insulin resistance have high insulin levels, so anything they can do to bring their insulin down and keep it low for as long as possible, this is going to help. And the more stable our blood sugar is, the fewer spikes we have throughout the day, the lower our insulin is going to be. And finally, number 1, it can help you to live longer. High protein diets have been linked to lower mortality. Inadequate protein intake is part of the cause of sarcopenia, which is when you lose muscle mass and strength. People with sarcopenia are more frail and at a greater risk of falls and injuries. And this is also directly associated with mortality. If you are able to maintain a healthy level of lean muscle mass as you age, not only are you going to live longer, but you're going to have a better quality of life through your later years. You're going to have fewer aches and pains, better balance, and better mobility. So the moral of the story is prioritize protein, up your intake, and you're going to see improvements to your health across the board. Now, the only group of people who should be mindful of consuming too much protein is people with existing kidney damage. Because their kidneys are already damaged, they're not able to process protein efficiently. But it's important to note that excess protein, too much protein, does not damage your kidneys. It's only if you already have pre-existing damage. Now, if you're not sure how to up your protein intake and meet that 1 gram per pound of your ideal body weight threshold, I have another video on my channel, which I'm gonna link above, that'll help you out. Let me know in the comment section down below if you prioritize protein in your diet already, or if this video has inspired you to try to eat some more. Let me know down below. I love chatting with you guys in the comment section, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.